The dark horse rises, Manchester United falls, Zidane wants Bale out, there's transfer rumours from around Europe, and of course, we have this week's great debate. Now, more coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. First off to the biggest story of the night, and it's Cardiff's fantastic win against Brighton. No, it's not really, it's the Champions League action, of course. And first off, we're going to talk about Ajax against Juventus, because Cristiano Ronaldo will not be adding another UEFA Champions League winners' trophy to his illustrious career. That's because, once again, everyone was doubting the dark horse of the tournament, Ajax, and they proved everybody wrong, and especially their centre-back Matthijs de Ligt, who just can do no wrong at the moment. As if it wasn't enough that he's already the captain at 19 years old, he's leading Ajax on a fantastic Champions League run, but he went and showed what he could do in the box by heading in the winner last night, which sees Ajax progress to the semi-finals 3-2 on aggregate. As for Cristiano Ronaldo, well, he did manage to score. Of course he did, it's the Champions League. This means he now has 126 goals in the competition, but he won't be able to add to that this season, whereas his main competitor, Lionel Messi, will be looking to add to that, as he was back to his majestic best as he helped Barcelona beat Manchester United. Now, for Manchester United, there is no shame in losing to Barcelona. They're a brilliant side with one of the world's best players. However, there is shame losing when you do things so poorly, especially in defence. Now, David De Gea made a massive mistake. He was receiving some Karius-like abuse on Twitter for it as well, which is a little bit harsh, I think. But as for the Manchester United defence, what on earth are they thinking, still persisting with the same old dinosaurs? The three of Young, Smalling and Jones were all playing when Manchester United were knocked out of the Champions League against Basel in the group stages back in 2011. So what made them think that 8 years later they're going to be able to do the job in the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final away at Barcelona? I just don't get it, but as I mentioned before, it's no real shame losing out to them. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that he wants his team to look at Barcelona and try and match their standards, but they've got a long way to go and they're going to need a very good summer in the transfer market if they're to reach any kind of level like that next season. Next up to some more reports from Real Madrid that are saying that Gareth Bale is unhappy, and this time it's coming from his own manager Zinedine Zidane, who has apparently told the board to get rid of Bale at any cost. Now, it's been said that Florentino Perez wants to recoup the money that they paid for Bale back in 2013, which was around £85 million. But Zidane has said, screw that, just get rid of him no matter what the cost, even if you've got to take less than half of that amount. This is going to be pretty ridiculous, but there is actually some sense to it. Now, obviously, they will be losing out on a bit of money, but money's never really been an issue for Real Madrid. It will mean, though, that Gareth Bale is finally off the wage bill. He was pushing the kind of figures that Cristiano Ronaldo was earning a few years ago, and that just isn't acceptable for someone who's always injured and then when he's on the pitch, not performing and then getting injured again. Zidane left at the end of last season, supposedly after the amount of control that he gets over transfers was limited. He's now come back, and one of the stipulations was that he gets a far larger say, so he's exercising this right now by talking to the boss and saying that he wants Eden Hazard and Vinicius Jr. as the forward-thinking players in Real Madrid's team and as part of the future. Now, obviously, even if they do sell Bale for less money than they originally wanted, it still won't be enough to cover the amount they're going to have to pay for Eden Hazard. But if they do get rid of him, there will be a spot spare for the Chelsea forward. Again, I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about it, but this is the kind of transfer news that is going to rumble on well into the summer. Of course, will Eden Hazard actually be leaving Chelsea? And do you guys think it actually depends on the transfer ban? For me, I'm not entirely sure whether they have it or they don't have it. If Real Madrid come in for 150 million for Eden Hazard, someone whose contract is expiring next summer, I just can't see Chelsea turning it down. And next up, we come to a roundup of the day's transfer news involving some players and a few managers. First off, Mauricio Pochettino is looking at Ryan Sessegnon, the Fulham youngster, who will probably come at a cheaper price now that they've been relegated. Elsewhere, Manchester City considering going back in for Dortmund's Julian Weigl. Rafa Benitez still hasn't signed a new contract at Newcastle with his current deal expiring in the summer, and Bayern Munich president Uli Hoeneß has admitted that he would sign Kylian Mbappe immediately if the German giants could afford him. So last but not least, we come to this week's great debate. For those of you who are new around here, every single Wednesday we get a question put to us from the One Football newsroom here, and they want to know all of your answers in the comments section below. You can check out all of their answers in the relevant article on the app. However, for you guys in the comment section down below though, we want to know in the great debate, what is the greatest comeback in Champions League history? Now last week we had the greatest upset, so it's not necessarily a comeback, but just a result that you didn't expect to see happening. This week, though, it's got to be a comeback, and for me, it has to be in Istanbul back in May 2005, where Liverpool triumphed in the most unlikely of scenarios. By half-time, AC Milan had raced into a 3-goal lead, and Carlo Ancelotti was looking pretty smug on the touchline. However, goals from Gerard Smica and from Xabi Alonso at the second time of asking from the penalty spot helped Liverpool fight back and take the game to penalties, where after Andrei Shevchenko's pretty tame penalty, Jerzy Dudek stopped it, and Liverpool fans all around the world went absolutely mad. For me, it's not only the greatest Champions League comeback ever, but also the greatest ever Champions League final. Of course, let me know your thoughts down below on the great debate this week and all of the transfer news and everything else. Were you even shocked by Ajax winning last night, or have we come to expect it? Of course, whilst you're down there, you can also smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos that we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.